wanted to have an event at the Marriott 15 years ago where we were going to host Geert Wilders and a number of people who wanted to speak out against radical Islam. The Marriott canceled us at the last minute and said we couldn't do the event there. And since then, I've watched them allow radical Islamists to host event after event, either here at the Marriott in Coral Springs on Heron Bay or other places around the country. There was one in Maryland just a couple of weeks ago. And it seems pretty obnoxious to me that the Marriott has become the preferred destination for radical Islam. And that's what that sign means. And for those of you who think that, much ado about nothing, every group of people has a right to have a representative organization for them. The problem with the organizations that will be meeting here today are they have a very illegitimate agenda. And it's comprised of eliminating Israel, where I'll be heading on Monday, and wreaking havoc in just about every other country where they gain any political foothold.
One of this conference's main speakers, Khalid Griggs, has used social media to spread propaganda glorifying Adolf Hitler. In October 2018, Griggs posted a photograph on his Facebook page depicting Hitler with his arm around Olympian Jesse Owens, both of the men with big smiles on their faces. It was a doctored photo and a hoax. During the Olympics, Hitler refused to shake Owens' hand solely because he was black. He stated at the time, quote, "Do you really think I will allow myself to be photographed shaking hands with a Negro," end quote. The photo that Griggs posted was not just a hoax. It was made to make Hitler appear good and decent, when in truth, Hitler was a monster who devastated the lives of tens of millions of innocent people. Griggs, as well, used his social media to support the notion that America is, quote, owned and controlled by Jews. And he posted material calling for the destruction of Israel, or what his post referred to as the destruction of Zionism. But the destruction of Zionism is the destruction of Israel. And saying that America is owned and controlled by Jews is anti-Semitism. And glorifying Hitler in any way is disgusting and shameful. Shame on the Muslim Federation for bringing this anti-Semite to Florida. And shame on Marriott Heron Bay for allowing such a disgrace to step foot in its hotel.
People saw what happened in Jammu and Kashmir in 1989-90 and how radical Islamists drove all the Kashmiri Hindus out of that place. And this has been continuing for the last 32 years. We are gathered here because one of the speakers in the background is connected with Islamists and also the terrorist organizations like Lashkar-e-Taiba. Everybody knows in 2003, 24 Hindus were massacred in Pulwama district by the terrorists from Lashkar-e-Taiba. So we have to know our enemy, as Joyce said. And unless until we know our enemy, we cannot do anything.
We all have to rise and recognize, catch such inhuman behavior early on, expose it without any reservation, to save humanity. Otherwise, it will continue to raise its ugly head again and again. This is 21st century and should not be tolerated at any level. If you've seen the Kashmir Files movie, that is the tip of the iceberg. You can make as many moves as the tragedies has happened in Kashmir in 1989. Radical ideology has to be opposed and terminated in all shapes and forms everywhere. We as humans cannot sit silent. If we do so, we become part of it. It is as simple.
I want to go back and see my lost ancestral home in Kashmir one day, but right now, this feels like a distant dream. When will we be able to return to our homes? When will we be able to go to our homes, call of our mother Kashmir? I often ask myself this question: whose fault is this? Why am I and so many other children struggling to keep our culture alive? Why are we being deprived of our basic human rights? Today I ask everyone this question: what is our fault in this? How are we going to save our rich culture and heritage, which is on the verge of dying out? We want answers, and we deserve them. My heart yearns as a 14-year-old to be able to call Kashmir my home with certainty, and I can only imagine what my parents must be going through. We are the original inhabitants of Kashmir and have the right to go back, and no one can take that right away from us. We want justice for our community. I want and need to go back to my home without any fear, freely, and be able to connect with my roots and have my home back. I will continue to hope and pray and do everything I can so that my Kashmiri community will be able to go back to our homeland and restore it to its original glory once again.
Two-thirds of the Muslims in the Middle East have already joined the Abraham Accords, either directly or indirectly, or recognized Israel. It would be nice for the other third of the Muslims in the Middle East to join the Abraham Accords, recognize Israel, and end the declaration of war against the Jews and the Christians and the Hindus.
There's no need to fight with dogs.
So my third suggestion for Muslim friends is that if you do not want to become an American, and you do not want to believe in life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for 100% of the population, and you insist on life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for 10% of the population, just go home. We don't need you here. Now, in 1776, we fought a war about this called the Revolutionary War, where England believed in life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for 10% of the population. We had a war, and they lost, and we won. And then in 1861, we had a battle between the North and South in America. We had our own civil war. The South believed in life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for 10% of the population. They fought against the North, declared war on the North, who believed in life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for 100%, and they lost, and the Americans won. So we do not need to fight another war. Just go home if you do not want to become an American, if you do not want to join Western civilization, if you do not want to believe in the rule of law, and you do not want to believe in life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for 100% of the population.